blown wide open knowing. Not knowing any particular object, nothing wrong with any object, everything's included, but the simple fact of knowing pure being. Just here and now, just knowing that I am. Not anything in particular, everything's fine. We're mostly knowing something which is ourself as an object, the center of the universe. This person, this mind, with its ideas and beliefs and regrets and past and future, fears and desires, and preferences, opinions, likes and dislikes. All of that stuff's fine. But that's a very limited view of who we are. And because of that, we feel we're contracted and limited to this only. So I just say for a moment, just don't attend to any of that at all and just know and see. You're not trapped inside something, you're blown wide open. So obvious. It's a paradigm shift. Very simple. But in that simple paradigm shift, for that moment, now, our entire world is gone. All of our troubles or desires or fears, or past and future. Instead, we're just pure being knowing, Sat Chit Ananda. Being, Sat, knowing, Chit Ananda, blown wide open, peace. Know yourself as that. Pure being, knowing yourself as peace. This is what we've overlooked our whole life. Since we got inundated by mental impressions when we were very young, we've become the prodigal son, traveled apparently, seemingly, very far in the direction of separation and contraction. And somehow, miraculously, we've completely lost touch with our essential being, which is who we were before that movement of contraction began. Somehow, it's miraculously happens that we completely overlook that. We fall for the illusion of self. And it's very convincing, you know. It's a very convincing illusion. Because it comes with a lot of feelings and emotions and fears and needs and desires and compulsions, which all draw our attention so much so that it calcifies, apparently, not actually, but apparently, it calcifies into a self, a me that has a problem. And so we spend our lives trying to get back to something, even before we're seekers on the path. We're trying to get to something by looking for love in all the wrong places: success, fame, money, relationship, even possessions, being seen in a particular light, being liked, being loved. We're looking for love in all the wrong places because those are all transient and never fulfilling ultimately. What we fail to see is that we've already been pure love always. That's who we are. But because of this miraculous illusion, we've completely lost sight of that. And so we look outward for objects, including things like philosophies and beliefs and opinions. We look for some kind of stability there, a sense of being home in that. But that changes. All of that changes. It's not dependable at all. So then I say, just look now for a moment. So then many of us, everyone here, gets on the spiritual path. And again, looking for love in all the wrong places. Looking for love in spiritual books and spiritual philosophies and teachings and spiritual experiences and gurus and all of these things that we, again, looking outward for our fulfillment and our completion. And again, we think we know what we're looking for when we're spiritual seekers, but we don't. And we don't know until we know. Then we do know. And that, what do we come to know is that I've always been home. What? I've never not been home. I always have been home. And then all of our seeking stops. Seeking in the world for those fulfillment and seeking in spirituality for fulfillment. It all stops because all of that is looking for love in the wrong place, wrong places. All we have to do is turn around and stop ignoring what's so blatantly obvious always. The spiritual path, the recognition of freedom is not deep, it's not subtle, it's not mysterious, it's not mystical, it's not transcendent, and it's not divine. It's the most obvious thing possible. It is you. So I just say for a moment, just be you for a moment in your purest essence. And see that you're home. The good news is even in this recognition, nothing has to be lost, given up, nothing. All of those aspects of self, preferences, opinions, beliefs, not beliefs, sorry, take that one back. Preferences, opinions, likes and dislikes, talents and skills, they're all perfectly fine. My work is not about transcending or getting away from the body in life. It's about knowing the essence of the body and realizing that the body is perfectly included, all of it. So you don't lose anything except ignorance of your true nature. That's the only thing you lose, the ignorance of your true nature. You don't have to change. You don't have to give anything up. You don't have to become Ramana Maharshi or the Buddha. You be yourself. So I just say for a moment, and when you know freedom and when you know liberation, you know that you're fine just as you are. Many things we see on intensives, many things that help clarify and resolve everything, all the doubts. One thing that we see is that we have nothing to do with who we are. We don't create ourselves at all. We cannot be any different than we are in any way. So if that's true, then everything is fine as it is. You are fine as you are. And so is everyone else. As I said, we had a Lions Den meeting yesterday. Lions Den, if you're new here, for people who I've been working with who've come to intensives, we have the Lions Den where we meet every Saturday, and it just supports people in freedom. And as I was saying yesterday about, well, like what I call a holiday is to be free for a moment. I call this a holiday. For someone who's been on an intensive, a holiday is clearly the end, man. It's over. A holiday reveals the end. It's finished. For someone who hasn't been on an intensive, most likely there's still going to be some doubts and some confusions and some, yes, but what about this? And yes, but what about that? but it still reveals the end, although maybe it's not so obvious yet. But a holiday is the end. It's the end of your path. And when we have an open meeting, I want to share that at the beginning of each open meeting. But so I say this is the end, but I say it's the beginning of the end also, because there's a lifetime of ignorance that has to be resolved. It's just the way it is. And it's always been that way. And although this has always been who you are, you've always been home, this recognition, when it's doubtless, is a huge change in a person's life. Nothing has actually changed except ignorance is gone, and peace, for the most part, becomes your life.